भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णे स्वधामोपगते धर्मज्ञानादिभिः कलौ नष्टदृशाम् एष पुराणार्को अधुनोदितः। श्रीमद्भागवतं पुराणम् अमलं यद्वैष्णवानां प्रियं यस्मिन् पारमहंस्यम् एकम् अमलं ज्ञानं परं गीयते। तत्र ज्ञानविरागभक्तिर्सहितं नैष्कर्म्यम् आविष्कृतं तत् शृण्वन् सुपठन् विचारणपरो भक्त्या विमुच्य नरः। सर्ववेदान्तसारं हि श्रीभागवतम् इष्यते तद्रसामृततत्तस्य नान्यत्रस्य रतिः क्वचेत्। य एतत् श्रावयेन् नित्यं यामक्षणम् अनन्यदीः। श्लोकम् एकं तदर्थं वा पादं पादार्थम् एव श्रद्धवान् यो अनुशृणुयात् पुनाति आत्मानम् एव सः। कृष्णतुल्य भागवत विभु सर्वाश्रया प्रतिश्लोके प्रति अक्षरे नानार्थकया प्रेममया भागवत कृष्णेर श्री अंगा ताः ते कहेन यथा गोप्य कृष्णेर अंगा आदि मध्य अंत्य भागवते एकया विष्णु भक्ति नित्य सिद्ध अक्षय अव्यया भागवत शास्त्रे से भक्ति तत्व कहे तेरी भागवत समकोन शास्त्र नहे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we continue from the fifth chapter from the seventh canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is one of the key chapters in in one way we can say in the whole entire Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam seventh canto is the signs of Godhead, and the highlights of this is to understand what is dharma, what is adharma. What is dharma and what is adharma is easily understood based on the varnashrama system one is living in. So there is Daivi Varnashrama and then there is Asura Varnashrama. So here in this chapter from Prahlad Maharaj we can hear because the teachings are needed for people who are not on track, isn't it? So if people are on track, then there is no problem because then they can be on their own, they can practice their own bhakti and all. But the challenge here is that we are living in the material world, which is more influenced and driven and motivated, as well as uh, exploited to enjoy through the body. And then, so Prahlad Maharaj is instructing to his co-students. Of course, there's this time when Prahlad Maharaj was brought to Hiranyakashipu, who was asking, "What did you learn?" And then he said, "Nate vidu svatagatim hi Vishnum durashaya ye bahir artha maninah andha yatandher upamniyamanas te pisha tantrem urudamni paddaha." So Prahlad Maharaj is saying persons who are strongly entrapped by the consciousness of enjoying material life and who have therefore accepted as their leader or guru a similar blind man uh, attached to external sense objects cannot understand that the goal of life is to return home back to Godhead and engage in the service of Lord Vishnu. And this is like as blind men guided by another blind man miss the right path and fall into a ditch. Material attached men led by another material attached man are bound by the rope of fruitive labor. So, this is our challenge. Um, how to know whom to follow. That is our challenge. Sometimes we come to our senses, not the artificially misguided, but naturally we understand, yes, this world is a place of suffering. We may think, yes, I'm enjoying. So we look for some people and we follow them and try to enjoy. First of all, the other person is not enjoying, because sometimes we think that a person who is earning money is supposed to be naturally enjoying, but the person who is earning is struggling to understand that he is not able to enjoy. Mm. So the one whom we want to follow are blind men, and they are on the wrong path, and when we follow them, we are also on the wrong track. In this regard, Srila Prabhupada is saying, since there must always be a difference of opinion between demons and devotees, Hiranyakashipu, when criticized by his son, should not have been surprised that Prahlad Maharaj differed from his own life, from his way of life. So, nonetheless, Hiranyakashipu was extremely angry and wanted to rebuke his son. In fact, this is the challenge. This is the challenge. And in fact, this is supported by Brahmanas. Come on. We think that Brahmanas are super intelligent, and not just intelligent, yeah, they are practicing Buddhi Yoga. Means they know that Krishna is the supreme, they know that worshipping the Lord is ultimate. But how come that they are asking Prahlad Maharaj to give up all these things? Why? Because those Brahmanas are coming from a Brahmana family by birth. Shukra means semen. Shukra Acharya means one who is coming, refers to a teacher or a guru based on hereditary. I don't. Yeah, I think it was long, long ago. I think Varshan Leela Mataji, I think she was saying about there, or I think in some other houses also they have this family uh, priest. Yeah, family priest or mm, the one who are taking care of the family affairs, that they are doing sanskaras, you know, they are called purohita, for the welfare of the people or residents. mm. So here we can see this somehow can, when one has this hereditary gurus or spiritual masters have been accepted everywhere since time immemorial. But Prahlad Maharaj declined to accept such a seminal guru or take instruction from him. So it is not that, okay, in my home, they follow Kali and the priest encourages me to perform animal sacrifices. No, yeah, we can't just say, okay, this is fine, because after all, we may think, hey, the Brahmanas are great. Yes, but we have to also understand um, what is the position of such a Brahmana. And it says the word bahi means external. Arthamaninaha means taking very seriously, means body. We take this body very serious. Generally speaking, practically everyone is unaware of the spiritual world. The knowledge of material is restricted within the 4 billion mile limit of this material world, which is the dark portion of creation. They do not know that beyond the material world is the spiritual world. Unless one is a devotee of Lord, one cannot understand the external existence of the spiritual world. Gurus, teachers who are simply interested in the material world are described in this verse as andha. Andha means blind. Andha means such blind men may lead many other blind followers without true knowledge of material conditions, but they are accepted by the devotees like Prahlad Maharaj. Such blind teachers, being interested in external material world, are always bound by the strong ropes of material nature. So that's why uh, it is very, very difficult. And then that's why I think, I don't know, I thought we have covered this, but we can once again go. That's why Prahlad Maharaj is saying, Naisha mati tavad urukramangrim, for one, unless, and sprisati anartapagamo yad arthaha mahiyasham padarajobhishekam niskinchananam navriniti yavat. So, unless one smears on his body the dust from the lotus feet of a Vaishnava, uh, completely free from metal contaminations, Persons very much inclined toward materialistic life cannot be attached to the lotus feet of Lord, who is glorified for his uncommon activities. By the way, am I audible? I somehow feel I'm not getting feedback.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, okay. Is it better now or before was okay?
It was good, Prabhu.
Is it now also good?
Yes.
Okay. So, in this regard, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has explained that materialistic education expands the influence of Maya. Such an education induces the conditioned soul to be increasingly attracted to materialistic life and to stray further and further away from liberation, from unwanted miseries. So, this can be seen that one is escaping. Yeah, one, when problems come, then we try to escape. Yeah, that is the best thing, not to face it, because facing means to really go through that turmoil of churning. We if you have, if you know, there's this grinding stones. Yeah, in India, typically you have, there's one round stone in the bottom, and then there is a stone on that, and there is a handle or pedal through which you can keep on rotating it, and then in the middle there is a hole where you put the grains or rice or something, and then you grind it, it makes into paste or powder. So no, come on, we don't want to go through that mm, grinding process, because we are very fragile. And yeah, fragile means as soon as we come across any difficulties, we say, no, 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 it's not for me, let me, if we prepare ourselves to make our life adventurous in spite of all these challenges. mm, this is what I was thinking. Yeah, so when kids are together, they don't find it too much difficult to gel with each other, even in spite of so many differences, in spite of every now and then a rift and fight or whatever. Why? Because they are very mm, mm, um, what is the opposite of fragile? Uh, They are more accommodative. No, but there is a word. Uh, is there a word called tangile? No, no. Anyway, so yeah. So the point I'm saying is that, yeah, for them, they don't break. Why? Because they're not too fragile. But as when they grow bigger and bigger, what happens is that they become more fragile. So that is the cause of all challenges. Yeah, so in the education, kids are not having an issue, but in college, in the universities, in the campuses, in the corporate world, most of the challenges are more about soft skills, how to work together, how to build a teamwork, and all these things. Why? Because mm, um, material education is not helping us to develop from within how to see the world as it is. One may ask why highly educated persons do not take to Krishna consciousness in the purport I'm reading. The reason is explained in this verse. Unless one takes shelter of a bona fide, fully Krishna conscious spiritual master, there is no chance of understanding Krishna. The educators, scholars, and big political leaders worshipped by millions of people cannot understand the goal of life and take to Krishna consciousness, for they have not accepted a bona fide spiritual master and the Vedas. Therefore, in the Mundaka Upanishad, it is said that Nayam Atma Pravachayanena Labhyo Me Daya Na Bahuna Shrutena. One cannot become self-realized simply by having an academic education, by presenting lectures in an erudite way, pravachanena labdhya, or by being an intelligent scientist who discovers many wonderful things. One cannot understand Krishna unless one is graced by the supreme personality of Godhead. Of course, this purport goes further and further. The point here mentions is यस्य देवे परा भक्तिर् यथा देवे तथा गुरो तस्यैत कथिता हि अर्थाः प्रकाशन्ते महात्मनः. In the Shvetoswara Upanishad, it is mentioned, Yasya Deve Para Bhaktir. Only unto those great souls who have implicit faith in both the Lord and the spiritual Yasya Deve Para Bhaktir, Yata Deve Tatha Guru. And the spiritual master and all the imports of Vedic knowledge. uh, Katita hi artaha prakashante mahatmanaha. Knowledge is revealed to them. Hmm? Yasya yam evaisya vrunute tena labhyas tasyaisa atma vivrunute tanum swam. The Lord is obtained only by one who he himself chooses. To such a person he manifests his own form. Means the Vedas are saying one must take shelter of a self-realized spiritual master and not a materially educated scholar or politician. One must take shelter of Niskinchana, a person engaged in devotional service and free from material contamination. And Prabhupada makes the last word of line of this. That is the way to return home back to God. And in this way, Prahlad Maharaj spoke, and then Hiranyakashipu, blinded by anger, he threw him off, and he became so angry. And he said, "Oh, demons, take this boy away from me. He deserves to be killed. Kill him as soon as possible." And this boy, Prahlad, is the killer of my brother. Sorry. This boy, Prahlad, is the killer of my brother, for he has given his family to engage in devotional service of the enemy, Lord Vishnu, like a menial servant. Okay, in the purport, Prabhupada mentions, therefore, Prahlad was to be killed by Hiranyakashipu. Why? Because Prahlad uh, would be elevated to Sarupya liberation, and in that sense, he resembled Lord Vishnu. Hmm? In the purport, it is said Hiranyakashipu considered his son Prahlad Maharaj to be the killer of his brother because Prahlad Maharaj was engaged in devotional service of Lord Vishnu. In other words, yeah, which means that one who is so absorbed in serving or remembering Smaranam of Lord Vishnu and engaged 24 by 7 in service of the Lord, such a person is seen as God. Of course, he is not God, but he is seen as God. That's why it said in the purport, Prabhupada mentions Prahlad Maharaj would be elevated. Yeah, what is in the end result is Sarupya. Yeah, and in that sense, he resembled Lord Vishnu. Therefore, Prahlad was to be killed by Hiranyakashipu. Hmm? Devotees, Vaishnavas attain the liberation of Sarupya, Salokya, and Sarshti and Samipya, whereas Mayavadis are supposed to attain the liberation of Sayujya. Sayujya Mukti, however, is not very secure, whereas Sarupya, Salokya, Sarupya means having the form of the Lord, same like resembling this form of the Lord. Salokya means one who is in one of the Vaikunthas. Sarshti, Samipya, Samipya Mukti is also engaging in the service, active service of the Lord. Hmm. Although the servants of Lord Vishnu, Narayana in the Vaikuntha planet are equally situated with the Lord, the devotees there know very well that the Lord is the master, whereas they are servants. विष्णोर्वा साधु असौ किं नु करिष्यति असमञ्जसः सौहृदं दुष्ट्यजं पित्रोर् अहाद् यः पञ्चहायनः. Huh? Although Prahlad is just Panchayana, 5 years old, even at this young age, he has given up his affectionate relationship with his father and mother. Therefore, he is certainly untrustworthy. Indeed, it is not at all believable that he will behave well toward uh, he, not indeed it is not at all believable that he will behave well toward Vishnu. Hmm. So in this way, anyway, then Hiranyakashipu is giving the example that although a medical herb being born in forest does not belong to the same category as man, if beneficial, it is kept very carefully. If something is useful, even if it is in the forest, one brings and yeah. takes care of that because it's very useful. But similarly, if someone outside one's family is favorable, he should be given protection like a son. On the other hand, if a limb of one's own body is poisoned by disease, then that part of the body should be amputated. What is it? The word used? Amputated. Yeah. So that the rest of the body may live happily. So similarly, even one's own son, if unfavorable, must be rejected, although born of one's own body. Mm. So here we can see the situation of Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu, however, being a non-devotee, was so polluted that he was even prepared to kill his own son. And for that, he justified with his logic of amputation. Mm. And then, Sarver Upayer Hantavyaha Sambhoja Sayanasanai Suhlingadhara Satrur Mune Drishtam Ivendriyam. Mm. So it is said just as uncontrolled senses are the enemies of all yogis, engaged in advancing in spiritual life, this Prahlad, who appears to be a friend, is an enemy because I cannot control him. Therefore, this enemy, whether eating, sleeping, or sitting, must be killed by all means. So, in this way, Hiranyakashipu thus began striking Prahlad, and he wanted to kill, and he said, chop him up, pierce him, then began striking Prahlad, who sat silently meditating on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even though a person who has no assets in pious activities performs such good deed, it will have no result. Thus, the weapons of the demons had no tangible effect upon Prahlad Maharaj. So, one way can say prayas means an attempt, prayas. But prayas also means something that's not fruitful. Here it says, prayase apahate tasmin daityendra parisankitaha chakaratad vidhopayan nirbandhena yudhishthira. He's telling Yudhishthir Maharaj, Narad Muni is telling, when all the attempts of demons to kill Prahlad were futile, the king of demons, Hiranyakashipu, being most fearful, began contriving other means to kill him. And then he started could not kill his son by throwing him beneath feet of big elephants, throwing him among huge fearful snakes, employing destructive spells, hurling him from the top of a hill, conjuring up illusory tricks, administering poison, starving him, exposing him to severe cold, wind, fire, water, or throwing heavy stones to crush him. When Hiranyakashipu found that he could not in any way harm Prahlad, who was completely sinless, he was in great anxiety about what to do next. So, I don't know what is time before I actually stop. I thought of meditating on this verse for some time. It seems to be quite simple, isn't it? Yeah, because we know the story where Hiranyakashipu is very cruel, he's very strong, but we can see the strength of Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj is even stronger. A devotee is always stronger than a non-devotee. And in fact, the strength is coming through devotional service. And we can see Hiranyakashipu could not kill his son by throwing him beneath the feet of big elephants. We can see these big elephants are sometimes maybe we can think of our problems. Mm, And when we are under the problems, we try to, uh, yeah, we try to relieve ourselves from that. But at some stage, we think, oh, I think it's too much. We can't do anything. Let's give it up. And again, these uh, enemies, six enemies, Kama, Krodha, Mada, Moha, Matsarya, I think I covered. So these are sometimes, not sometimes, most of the time are too big to handle. Uh, and here. throwing him among huge, fearful snakes. Yeah, maybe we can see this as living with people who are very, very passionate. You know, these are very fearful because they keep hissing. Snakes, they hiss. Of course, the poison is there, which is deadly and dangerous. The influence of these karmis, influence of materialistic people is very dangerous. Um, we can feel it, just like the snakes hiss, and by hearing the sound, we know it's very dangerous. Yeah, and then when the snake raises its head and then what do you call hood, and yeah, tries to um, attack. We know this. Okay. Similarly, what happens is sometimes when we are doing bhakti, there are people who are very, very passionate and they want to attack us. And then, uh, so instead of those heavy elements of our own kama, krodha, mada, moha, matsarya, so there are these external elements which are very dangerous. They are trying to attack us, and then we may give it up because we are scared of them. And then sometimes at least we know these things, then they are employing we can see Hiranyakashipu is saying he tried to kill Prahlad Maharaj by employing some um, destructive spells. Oh my God, what are these? uh, Destructive spells, hurling him from a top of a hill. Okay, we'll come to that later. So destructive spells are, you know people try to curse. Yeah, they try to curse so that may that good fortune one may live is gone. May he suffer because one is not able to tolerate um, happy, blissful life of a devotee. So there are also the spells, and we think, oh no, 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 let me be nice with these people because if they are angry upon me and if they do something, my life is gone. Yeah, no. A devotee is not scared about that. He knows that ultimately his protector or her protector is Lord Krishna. No problem. Then hurling, Hiranyakashipu tried to hurl him from the top of a hill. Of course, very graphically, we know when Prahlad Maharaj was falling, it was a free fall from up, and then Lord Vishnu is there to protect. How much are we ready when these falls happen? Because there are times there are times where because of our past um, deeds, there is this good karma, there is bad karma, and when bad karma is um, influencing us to fall down, there's this free fall. What's happening? We are hurling from a top, a better stage, but then because of the association and because of the deeds that we have done, then there is this uh, situations in our life that we fall down. Mm. And then anyway, there are this administering poison, starving him, exposing him to severe cold weather. And anyway, these are the conditions. Yeah, them in the material world because of whatever karmic. Uh, yeah, it is said, guna karma vibhagasya. Now we have come to this world based on our guna and karma. So because of that, we are in this world. And if we do something more bad, we'll be going into even further lower planets. If we do something better, we go to higher planets. When Hiranyakashipu found that he could not in any way harm Prahlad, who was completely sinless, he was in great anxiety about how to do, what to do next. So these things are there in a devotee's life. A devotee will be tested, or will be disturbed in his devotion. But the only saving grace is to be as sinless as possible. 1 second, there was some noise. Uh, so there's this. Okay, let me go back. Okay. So there is always this situations, yeah. So and due to which we have to understand the life of Prahlad Maharaj is not that okay, Prahlad Maharaj is Mahabhagavat, that's why um, he could make it. In our life, we can also make it if we can understand that yes, uh, we have all these situations to handle, and the the solution is to become sinless. And how to become sinless is by cleaning Cheto Darpana Marjanam, by cleaning uh, Cheto Darpana Marjanam Bhava Mahadhavagni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandambudhi Vartanam Pratipadam Purnamrita Asvadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. By singing, this is what Prahlad Maharaj did. He was always singing, he was always remembering the Lord and His holy names. Through this process, we become sinless. And then, when we are sinless, for whom should we fear for? We'll become fearless. And that is the state of Prahlad Maharaj. Of course, he is Mahabhagavat, we are nowhere, but we can understand the spirit. That is the whole purpose of Bhagavatam is try to become sinless so that and how to be sinless is not try to acquire knowledge, not jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, not all these things, bhakti yoga, like Prahlad Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Yeah, you might be thinking, okay, we are going to the same seventh canto three times already. Mm, yeah, but the depth of what we can get from these teachings of Prahlad Maharaj are, I would say, um, unlimited. Yeah, so it's mainly the more and more we absorb, the more and more we develop, more and more we improve in our devotion, we can appreciate them more and more. Okay, any thoughts or questions before we close? No? Then, yeah, thank you very much for joining. And I'm really sorry, last days were quite unpredictable, so I didn't know when, which day, what is available. And yeah, but anyway, I hope you enjoyed your break. But yeah, let's see how it goes for next couple of weeks. Might be still uh, ad hoc, but yeah, let's see how it goes. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Grandhar Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanand. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.